You've probably walked past Walmart's rotisserie chicken 100 times thinking it's the same questionably cooked bird you see under every glaring heat lamp. But what if I told you there's one specific chicken in that case that's actually worth grabbing, fresh, seasoned right, and able to feed your family twice for the cost of a drive-thru meal? Most shoppers never realize this one is the quiet exception to Walmart's meat problem. Let's start with why it's the only store-bought protein that actually earns your trust. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You know that bright row of golden birds spinning behind glass? The ones glowing under lights that could double as tanning lamps? Most shoppers pass by thinking, safe, cheap dinner. But here's the truth, those birds aren't all what they look like. Convenience hides more guesswork than most people realize. Under that crust could be tender meat or a chalky, overcooked lump that sucks the moisture out of your night. It's the gamble of the ready-to-eat section, a bet most of us keep taking because time never slows down long enough to cook from scratch. That's the mindset driving the entire heat lamp economy. You want protein without prep, dinner without a plan, maybe even leftovers if you're lucky. But big box stores don't make that easy. Speed and scale kill precision. What's under the same label can vary wildly from one store to another, depending on how fast trays move off the shelf or how long they've sat under the glass. One might be fresh from the oven 30 minutes ago. Another could have been sweating there for hours. It's supposed to be simple food for tired people, but half the time it feels like punishment for trying to save $10. Walmart's meat section, in particular, carries that reputation for inconsistency. The turnover's high, the staff stretched, and freshness depends on a rhythm that's easy to break. Sometimes it feels like the deli counter just survived a Black Friday sale. Half-empty shelves, new batches rolling out without pause, and the promise that something just came out, whether it did or not. The demand is huge, which sounds good for quality control, but in practice, constant restocking can blur the line between fresh and just refilled. You've probably had that moment. Dragging in from a long day, kids asking what's for dinner, and you find yourself in that fluorescent aisle again. You stand there deciding between another frozen pizza or that steaming bird. The label says ready to eat, but history says regret in a plastic tray. You tear through the container at home, only to find dry breast meat and skin that tastes faintly of stale seasoning. That's the fatigue every working shopper knows. Doing your best to feed the people you love and feeling like the store's convenience food is laughing at you. Experts blame it on scale. When thousands of pre-cooked meats cycle through ovens a day, small details like spice distribution or rest time fall through the cracks. It's not that no one cares, it's that mass production doesn't allow for care in every batch. Rotisserie chicken becomes just another number in a system built for speed. And yet, now and then, one slips through that feels different. The skin actually crisp, the meat juicy past day one. The kind of thing that makes you look twice and wonder if the price tag is missing a zero. That's where curiosity kicks in, because not every Walmart bird is built equally. One particular line has developed a quiet following for breaking all those lousy expectations. The market-side rotisserie chicken doesn't just dodge the usual traps. It manages to outshine them. And that's where the story turns from distrust to something stranger. A fast, affordable dinner that might actually deserve your trust. Here's where the skepticism meets the one exception. The market-side rotisserie chicken doesn't just dodge Walmart's reputation for limp meat, it rewrites it. While most pre-cooked birds sit too long under harsh lighting, this one follows a tighter dance. Staff rotate it more often, timing the batches to leave the warmer before they lose that last bit of tenderness. It moves fast, not because of hype, but because enough people quietly learned it's the safe bet. The result is meat that stays juicy even if you bring it home an hour later, a small miracle under a corporate heat lamp. You might wonder how one chicken can beat the system if it lives in the same glass case as every other bird. It sounds like marketing sleight of hand until you notice how it's prepped. The seasoning isn't generic. It leans on a signature mix heavy on garlic and smokier herbs. And the prep crew operates under a tighter clock. Smaller batches go out and turn over before that top layer of skin stiffens. No mystery glaze, no overbrining, just a better rhythm that keeps moisture locked in. There's a reason one customer said, "This fed my whole family for dinner and lunch the next day, tender, affordable, no cooking required." That's more than a throwaway compliment. It's an outline of the real value. A single $5 chicken that can stretch across 2 meals without anyone grumbling about leftovers deserves attention. You pull it apart for tacos on Thursday night, then toss the rest into sandwiches the next morning. No frying pan, no cleanup, no excuses for fast food. Speaking of drive-thrus, here's the math that hits home. That same $5 barely covers one combo meal dripping in oil and regret. The chicken, though, gives you clean protein, better flavor, and enough leftovers to dodge takeout twice. Price and health actually align for once, something most of us stopped expecting from Walmart meat. It's not gourmet, but it's honest food that doesn't punish you for choosing convenience. Even after a night in the fridge, it holds its shape. The skin softens, but the meat stays tender, rare for any store bird. Reheated or cold, the flavor holds up. You can shred it into a salad without that chalky dryness that usually screams, "day old." The consistency proves this bird has more going on than luck. It's routine, process, and timing done right. So for all the talk about cheap goods meaning cut corners, this chicken hits the trifecta. Fresh, easy, and worth every dollar. It takes what's usually the shortcut to disappointment and turns it into a backup plan you can actually trust. Once you find that level of balance in one Walmart aisle, you start to notice traces of it elsewhere. This pattern of quiet standouts doesn't stop with poultry. Some of the best buys in that store hide behind equally modest price tags. Waiting to prove that value at Walmart isn't the exception. It's just buried under the noise. Once you realize one Walmart product can dodge the failure rate, you start spotting a quiet pattern. Items that quietly overperform their price tag. The store built its name on low cost, not long life, yet tucked between the impulse bins and bargain shelves are things that actually last. It stops being about luck and starts feeling like strategy, learning to tell the junk from the genuine deals hiding in plain sight. Take the Pioneer Woman 8-piece glass mixing bowl set. It looks like something meant for display, but those retro glass bowls hold their own in the real world. They stack, seal tight with bright lids, and bounce back after the kind of kitchen chaos that usually leaves shards. One parent swears the set survived 3 falls at a toddler's tea party. For less than a dinner bill, that kind of resilience is hard to argue with. Then there's clothing. The free assembly cardigan under $20 has no business feeling like mid-tier boutique stock. Yet it hangs right, has shape, and doesn't shrink into regret after the first wash. People wear it to meetings, errands, even dates, and it just works. That's the sort of quiet win that hands back a little faith in discount fashion. Move down the aisle and you'll find Better Homes and Gardens candles doing the same trick. For $10, you get 2 jars that can neutralize a week of stress faster than most spa playlists. The scents, clean cotton, lavender, fill a room without the chemical aftertaste cheaper candles tend to leave. It's atmosphere on a budget, proof that small comforts don't need brand name markup. Beyond decor, real value shows up where function meets durability. The Hyper-Tough 20V Project Kit gives you the basic tools you reach for in every weekend emergency. Assemble furniture, hang a shelf, tighten a hinge. It's all in there. One user went from renter frustration to weekend handyman using a single kit, which is probably why it rarely stays in stock. Not every deal hides in hardware. The Better Goods raspberry and brie pastries in the freezer section are another curveball. Flaky, buttery layers, a sweet edge of fruit, and apparently good enough to fool a book club into thinking they came from a bakery. That's affordable luxury 101. Walmart's electronics rack even has sleepers. Wireless earbuds for under $20 that keep decent sound and, according to one customer, survive a washing machine cycle. That's the definition of worth more than the tag. Each of these buys chips away at Walmart's reputation for disposable deals. They're proof of consistency hiding inside inconsistency. You start seeing a shift. Little wins that make you shop smarter instead of cheaper. Then there's the air fryer, the same brand behind the gleaming pastel appliances that quietly convert fried food lovers into vegetable eaters. One parent called it, "the only reason my teenager eats vegetables now." That might sound like an exaggeration until you realize we're talking about an appliance that delivers drive-thru crunch with almost no oil. Practical, reliable, reusable, that's the same logic behind the market-side chicken that started this whole test. Together, these finds do more than save a few bucks. They build a thread of trust one item at a time. And that's where the real story starts, learning which shelves have actually earned it. Walmart's real issue isn't cheap pricing, it's inconsistency. For every aisle of throwaway deals, there's one product like the market-side rotisserie chicken that quietly restores trust. When something this basic stays moist, flavorful, and affordable past dinner, it gives shoppers a reason to believe in quality again. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who keeps rolling the dice on bad take-home meals. Because next week, we're digging into other store-made foods that actually earn a second chance, and you might be surprised which brand comes out clean.